If you're over 35 dealing with acne and still not seeing results, you're probably making one of these mistakes. Hi, I'm Dr. Sam, and for over 2 decades, I've been helping patients with acne achieve bright, clear skin, because when you change your skin, you change your life. And I know that from firsthand, having been a junior doctor with skin that just wouldn't behave. These patients would find their way to me at the clinic frustrated because when they went to find solutions at the local chemist in the pharmacy aisles for acne, they found team solutions that didn't suit their skin and made their acne worse. So today, I'm sharing with you my clinic protocols that have made all the difference, help me get bright, clear skin, and hopefully you too. Let's start with something important. If you are over 35 and you're still treating your breakouts like you were when you were a teenager, you need to stop. The rules are completely different. Your skin is drier, your hormones may well be more erratic, you're probably stressed. If you're trying to tackle the signs of premature aging, as many of us are, you're going to be using vitamin C, AHAs, retinoids and the like. You might actually be making matters worse. So if you've been treating your skin the way you were trying to tackle breakouts when you were a teenager, it's probably not surprising that it isn't budging. And that's because adult acne responds to a kind of rebalancing to get your skin barrier in order rather than going at it with aggression. And that's what today's video is about, the real reasons adult acne isn't playing ball, the mistakes that I see in clinic every single day, and the exact framework I give to my 35+ patients to make everything get better. And newsflash, this is coming from personal insight. When I was a junior doctor, surviving on no sleep and terrible diet, my skin was at its absolute worst. And I was throwing the kitchen sink at it, trying to make everything better, and it was getting worse and worse, and my stress was getting worse and worse. So, hey, I understand that emotional journey you go on whenever your skin will not behave, but by the end of this video, you're gonna see things will look different. Let's talk about why adult acne is a different beast and why we need to tackle it in a different way. So fundamentally, the process is still the same. You're still starting off with that little clogging comedone in the pore, which is the opening of the hair follicle onto the surface of the skin. That's due to dead skin cells and oil and general debris clogging things up and making a blockage. And then the pore becomes anaerobic, meaning there's no oxygen in there. We now have a double cat situation. This is pretty crazy. Clearly the cats have missed me on YouTube. I hope you guys have too. Anyway, so we've got a clogged pore, we've got no oxygen, we've got a little party down in the follicle. So the anaerobic bacteria, C. acnes, that drives the inflammatory process, had a little party, as I say. And then that creates inflammation in that environment as they go about their bodily functions. And that inflammation is then what you finally see on the surface, that red inflamed bump, that little pustule that's got a white head on top of it. Or if you're unlucky, it's deeper and it creates a cyst or a nodule. So all telltale signs of inflammatory acne that are happening downstream after the comedone forms. So far, so same. The process that you get in teens is the same as in adulthood. However, the environment in which this is happening has changed. It's no longer the same city on the surface because our microbiome is evolving as our hormones change, and as we get older, everything just gets less oily and more dry. And as a consequence, that inflammation can really be more devastating. So you find that the old traditional remedies you might have reached for as a teenager to try to calm down the blemish, your benzoyl peroxide perhaps, or some of the more potent AHA-BHA combinations can just be too harsh in an environment that's already getting drier. And as a consequence, the barrier upset, we talk so much about the skin barrier, but it is actually really fundamental in acne, which might seem odd because it feels like it's an oily problem and therefore barrier shouldn't really be an issue, but it is. More irritable skin, more inflammation going on, you pile on with your anti-blemish solutions and voila, things just get worse, problems linger, we find that we get more pigmentation as a consequence, everything is just harder. Now, the other thing that is kind of critical is that this is really common in women. A lot more women in adulthood get acne than men do. Men still suffer from acne, I'm not saying that they don't, but this is really a very female problem. And we know this because we see this shift to the U pattern of the face, away from the T-zone, and you get these stubborn, lumpy pimples that just won't go away. They might come up just before your period. 80% of women get what we call physiological acne, which is blemishes just before the period, which is basically 1 in 4 weeks of your reproductively active life, so not to be ignored or diminished. But this pattern, and then they linger for weeks and weeks, and you can feel them there, and they might not even look that much on the surface, but you know there's this tender, lumpy, bumpy spot there, and it's going to leave a mark behind. So, you know, so far, so distressing and quite frustrating. Now, I think a lot of this is driven by progesterone. We see the impact of progesterone in the skin in so many instances in women's fertility. So if you're on the progesterone-only pill, if you take the period delay pill, if you take the morning after pill, and it's frequently part of the cocktail of drugs that someone who's going through IVF might experience. It keeps popping up, and then oftentimes the issues with skin can be missed. And if you're someone who's prone to premenstrual breakouts, you can be sure that these things might well even, you know, push you to break out further. Even the merinocoil, which is a tiny amount of progesterone, can make you break out more. So be conscious of that if you have acne-prone skin in adulthood as a woman. And I do think that's probably what's influencing this U pattern that we see. There's something about the nature of the oil glands and the U of the face that is more sensitive to progesterone and stress hormones as we age. So there you have it, this perfect storm of acne blemishes that are happening, and a part of the face that in itself is a bit more delicate. The cheeks are definitely drier than the oilier T-zone. These other things are happening in our lives that can just make us feel out of control. And then you're going about your routine, maybe trying to tackle signs of aging and wondering why things are getting worse. Well, it's because the condition is changing itself. Now let's talk about the biggest mistakes I see in my 35+ acne patients. Somewhere in the history of breakouts, someone said that if you dry a spot out, it gets better. No, this has led to an epidemic of overuse of cleansing, drying the skin out to make those breakouts go away. When you dry your skin out, you are making your skin barrier very, very unhappy. You're disturbing the skin's pH potentially, you're upsetting the microbiome, and everything goes awry. Cleansing needs to be as simple as possible. It needs to be supportive, and it will protect your microbiome, and acne solutions just get easier. And my advice is always to stick to an effective single cleanse. If you find that it's not getting everything off your skin, then you probably need to think about adjusting your makeup practices and work backwards from that. The second error I think that is really common is the inconsistent use of actives. Salicylic acid one night, vitamin C the next, and then a retinoid. No. When you're trying to control acne, you want to choose the 2 or 3 actives, we're going to come onto this later, so stay tuned, that are effective at treating the key checkpoints in the journey to a breakout, and you want to use them consistently. This business of rotation has no place in breakouts because you want to use the right ingredients, the right combination, the right concentration, ideally every day. And while we're on the topic of too many products, a lot of you are cocktailing. You're stacking active on active. Maybe you've seen it on TikTok, but let me tell you this, your barrier hates it. Unnecessary layering will destroy your skin barrier, will ruin your tolerance, and it will get in the way of your success. And then we come on to perhaps the most surprising mistake. You've got all the right tools, you're being consistent, but the problem is you're still treating your blemishes like you did in your teens. You're going spot by spot, treating them randomly and sporadically when they crop up. This is a fundamental mistake, and it's only by treating the zone, the jawline, the chin, the T-zone, your body, proactively, you're going to shift from crisis management to a clear mind and bright, clear skin. So here's the adult acne framework I use in the clinic. It's very simple. It's just 4 pillars. But what is critical is that we set you up for success by sorting out your cleanse, hydrate, protect step first. It is literally half of the equation. It's not just about your actives. It is about the products you use around your actives that allow you to use them, that give your barrier permission and space and strength to be able to tolerate them. So Cleansing. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it a simple single cleanse. As you guys will know if you follow me, I love a gentle gel, fragrance-free, non-clogging cleanser to get everything off. And I strongly believe in cleansing twice a day. And I think if you cleanse in this way, twice a day cleanse shouldn't be a problem. Your hydration step is key. Do not feel like you should skip moisturizer. I see so many people who are moisturizer averse because they've had a negative experience, they've broken out, it's made their skin bumpy. Be assured there is a moisturizer out there for you, and if you find the one, it will make everything so much easier. It is your kind of comfort blanket when it comes to being able to use actives without trouble every single day. So the right hydration step, fundamental. Do not skip moisturizer, even if you're at the oilier end of the spectrum. You need a sunscreen every day. You need one that isn't going to clog your pores. I hear you. Lots of people have had, again, that experience of putting sunscreen on and finding that bumpy texture just gets worse. Again, we are living in an era of wonderful sunscreen formulations. We can even find those with things like niacinamide in them, which will actively help control the breakouts while you're wearing your SPF. Not only will that help keep your pores clear, but it will actively help improve the appearance of any little dark marks that have followed from previous blemishes. So that is your setup. That is your kit for supporting the use of correct actives. But of course, you need to choose the right ones. This framework is your acne routine's backbone. Its simplicity makes everything else more effective. And then we come on to the all-important actives, the step that really is where the magic lies and where transformation can begin. So I think of it as being really simple in the 35+ category. We care about your skin barrier, and for me, that means the best combination for a preemptive strike to be used every single day is a retinoid at night, and we have a vast number of retinoids now available at all different strengths. I'm not going into which retinoid you should choose right here, it's just to give you the framework. But retinoid at night and azelaic acid in the morning. Now there is a particular magic about this combination because azelaic acid dials down your skin reactivity whilst also tackling almost all of those key checkpoints in the acne development process. So it helps unclog your pores, it's antibacterial, so it stops the party, and it also helps calm inflammation, and it tackles the dark mark as well. I mean, why wouldn't you use azelaic acid in your skincare routine if you are prone to breakouts? But it's particularly kind to your skin barrier. So even if you're trouble starting the retinoid in the early days, you can just do azelaic acid twice a day, and then when your skin becomes a bit more tolerant through use, slip in a retinoid at night when your skin is ready. So that is it. That is the simple day-to-day framework. Azelaic in the morning, retinoid at night. Then you might find that you still need the occasional spot blaster. So I'm not talking about reacting to an individual spot and doing nothing else. I'm talking about putting in this preventative double layer, morning and night, and then using a little extra when something actually breaks through. Now, the hope is that with time, because both the retinoid and azelaic acid zap the process of acne forming at the root cause, you become much less likely to get actual breakouts in the future. But if you do, we all want to have a little something on standby to tackle that, and for me, that's either salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. More oily skin tends to tolerate benzoyl peroxide better, particularly down here where the skin just doesn't tend to love benzoyl peroxide quite so much. But if your barrier is a little more on the delicate side, go towards salicylic acid. So just to reiterate on the routine, we're cleansing twice a day, morning and night. If you're in the early stages, you might want to put your hydration step on before your active step. We call that buffering, and I'll talk about that more in later videos on this topic. Then you'll put your active on. If you're not buffering, you'll put your moisturizer over your active. So that's same morning and night, azelaic in the morning, retinoid at night. And then for daytime, you're going to put sunscreen on over the top, then makeup, go barefaced, you know, whatever you like. But that is the simple framework for solving acne at 35+. You get the odd blemish before your period? Fine. Skip the relevant active at that time, morning or night, put on the anti-blemish directly on the blemish, and then do the other part of your routine actives-wise around it. Don't double treat. And that is it. So on a final note, perhaps the most important thing to take away from the video, aside from the framework, is that adult acne responds to consistency, not intensity. So start with your actives less often, every second or even every third day. Reassess at 2 weeks. If everything is okay, turn the dial, increase by 1 application until you either find that you can't go any further, you've reached tolerance, or you're using both azelaic acid in the morning and your retinoid every single day, and then stick with it for at least 6 weeks. That's 1 skin cycle, and probably more like 2, and then go back in and reassess your skin. I expect it will be calmer, smoother, brighter, happier, as will you be, and that's the way to continue long term. This is a perfect routine to address the signs of aging at the same time as keeping your breakouts under control, so stick with it. Now, if you want to get your hands on my 35+ adult acne playbook, check the link in the description box down below, and please leave me a comment talking about what I should address next.